and you know what to do. We got big waves out there. So happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. I am so excited to be on here with you guys tonight. We have a very, very powerful call Zoom lined up for us this evening. We've got some phenomenal leaders and from all over the United States that are going to be sharing with us tonight. And I'm going to give a little shout out to Dave because Dave just got started today and he's on here this evening. So good job, Dave. Good to see you. So that's really fun. I love to see our brand new people. And I'm kind of stalling real quick because we might have another gentleman jumping on, but we'll see because as you guys know, a lot of people are traveling currently to Ohio. So we might have Palmer. He was desperately trying to get on here, so we will see. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of housekeeping. So give me a second here. I'm going to hit the wrong button. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And here we go. All right, so welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. Normally we've got Coach Palmer on here. We'll see if we're going to get him, but we're a team. So tonight you have Andrea Rosser, and I'm super excited to be on here. And I wanted to give you guys a heads up about something that we started back up. I think this was week 2, so it's been a minute since we've done these, but I wanted to make sure everybody knows that we're doing these again. So every Wednesday at noon Central Time, we do a getting started and an advanced getting started training. And so together combined, it takes about an hour. But if you're new to the system of growth, or maybe you think that you're missing a little tip or something along those lines, you want a refresher, you've got some new people, tune in and join me there. You can send your new people. I promise to do my best to take really good care of them, and everybody is welcome. So that's every Wednesday at noon. And typically it's me. Sometimes I'm traveling, so we get other leaders from around all of the different teams to come on and help us with that. So it might not always be my face, but it will be great content. So we're excited for that. Next, PXP. We are like getting down to the wire and we're less than 2 months away. So I want to make sure that everybody has their tickets because we only have about 1 week left of the discounted tickets. And maybe you're brand new and you're going, well, why do I need to go to Dallas? Well, to meet me, obviously. But no, it's so much more. But community is a huge part about that. And I don't know how many of you were on the IPA today. It was phenomenal. We had Dr. Plant. And one of the things that he was talking about is what makes us so special and so effective is the community. There is power in coming together. And so this is going to be a phenomenal event. We want each and every one of you there. So go grab your tickets now while they're discounted and know that the room block is, if you had tried to get into the room block last week, you might have been getting an error message. It's fixed, it's back up and running, but the rooms are limited. And maybe you're thinking, man, an Omni, those are fancy schmancy hotels, so it might be kind of expensive. It's not cheap, but I'll tell you, it's a great discounted rate. But what we've done many times is we piled in like puppies. So if it's expensive, you can get a lot of people in a hotel room if you really want to. I have slept in bathtubs. Don't necessarily recommend that. I was a little younger then. Now I don't know if I'd be able to climb out, but we've definitely done that. We've gotten a bunch of ladies in one room, a bunch of gentlemen in the other, and we just made it work. So I would say do what it takes to get there because these events are where we build the connections so that we can, well, let's give an example. Do a call like this. If I hadn't been to different events, maybe I never would have met Freddie to invite him on to speak on this call. That's where we meet these people on our teams and then cross line. And then obviously we're going to get to learn from John and Darren and Dr. Plant and Katie Holt Larson and Dan Colley and all of the other people. I know I'm going to miss 1,000 different people, so I shouldn't have even started naming people, but it's going to be a phenomenal event. So I want you all to be there. There is going to be a ton of recognition. That's another phenomenal part of being there. So I would highly recommend that you go get to manager because there's power in walking that stage. There's power in your team seeing you walk the stage. Even if it's a team of one, let's get you there and shoot, let's get them to walk the stage too, because that is so incredibly powerful. I don't know about your world, but in my world, the stage that we get to walk is when we graduate high school, graduate college, and then that's it. Doesn't really happen again. And so this is a powerful way that you can be recognized for your achievements with Partner Co. So join us and get to manager and above so you can walk that stage and be recognized there. With that, we've got some specials going on. We've got our speed to lead promotion. So get yourself to manager and then add that 2000 in new volume bonus and you will get a special John and Darren experience. I don't know what it'll be, right? They're not sure. It depends on how many of us. So I say we get a whole bunch of people there and a bunch of people to this so that they have to make it a really big experience because all of us are there with John and Darren. I think that sounds like a great idea. So we still have a little under a month in order to achieve this. So there's plenty of time to go get it. So let's go get it. And then also, we are going to have a gala. And with that, in order to qualify to be at that event, we need to achieve vice president or above and accumulate 6,000 in new volume bonus. So what does that mean? Well, for me, that would mean that I need to enroll and help at least 4 people get to ultimate and I would be able to achieve that gala. So just one example of how you can get that new volume bonus, but enroll people, help them get to ultimate, and you will be there. So that is going to be a phenomenal event, but only the first 100 are going to qualify. So if you're going to be there, you want to go ahead and go for that soon. So there's still plenty of spots left. So don't fret, but don't wait either. Okay, so that is kind of the announcements there. And now I'm going to introduce our first guest. So, oops, excuse me. Before I do, I'm just going to do one more look. Nope. Okay. So I get the privilege now of introducing our first guest. And this gentleman I actually knew from afar in our previous company. So you guys know that Partner Co. is a house of brands, and one of our brands is Limu. And Limu is where I began my journey in this industry. And there was this guy, right? There was this guy that was up on the stage and he was super well spoken. And we loved when he was up there. Like we'd be like, oh my gosh, Freddy's speaking. So I knew him as the guy on the stage. You guys know anybody where you're like, oh yeah, I know him. So we didn't spend a lot of time together, but I was always super impressed by him. And so it's been fun to have the opportunity to collaborate with him here at Partner Co. So, Freddie, congratulations on all the success that you're having. And we're so grateful that you're here with us. And I'm going to go ahead and spotlight you, and I'll add me because it's a dirty trick to ever put somebody up there by themselves, in my opinion. So I'm going to add myself in there. And Freddie, if you wouldn't mind, first of all, thank you so much. Thank you for being on here. I know you're busy. I know you're heading to Ohio. I know you've got people and teams all over. And when I say all over, like inside the US and out. So we're so grateful for you taking the time to spend your Wednesday with us tonight. And I was hoping you could kick us off with your story this evening.
Absolutely, well, Andrea. I'm honored and blessed and grateful for you, for all you do. Obviously, Brent as well, and to have this opportunity tonight. I guess my story is, I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida, Cuban parents, so that's where the funny English comes from. I always like to clear that on these calls. They're like, "Where's this guy from?" And nothing. Always been, come from an entrepreneurial family. When I got into college, I really didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I was going to make a lot of money, but I didn't know what. And during that time, especially here in Miami, that's the time you start going to nightclubs and stuff. And I share that with you because that's when I started going out. I started going out with my friends to these clubs, and I got introduced to the term promoter. And I was like, "What's that?" They're like, "That's the promoter of the clubs. He makes all the money and all the girls and all the." And at that time in your life, usually that's one of the very important things. And long story short, I ended up becoming an assistant. I started helping him out. I got to know the guy because I was like, I want to be like this guy. When I heard he was make the kind of money he was making and everything, and long story short, within a year, I started doing my own clubs. And within another year or so, I was like the king of nightclubs in South Beach. So for many years, like some of the top clubs here in Miami, I was, during the college years and a little bit before I got married, that's what I did. But when I got married, I realized that nightclubs and marriage were not going to work. At least I didn't think so. And I was looking for a way to transition from what I was doing because I was doing extremely well. Um, so I was looking for a way to transition into something that could replace my income that was legal, ethical, and moral. I just didn't know what. And a friend of mine told me about network marketing. And long story short, he attracted me by he allured me by the type of income this gentleman was making, which was a significant amount. Basically 7 figures a month. And at that time, this was in the late '90s. And long story short, I just said like, where's this guy from? And they told me Lexington, Kentucky. And I go, really? I'm from Miami. I know half of these people. And so I came in, and it was a learning experience for me the first year or so because I came in with a little bit of ego, arrogance, and pride. And having had a lot of success, I had a little chip on my shoulder, and I was very unteachable, very uncoachable. And I thought I knew more than the people that were teaching me, what was working. I just, I had a couple filters I had to remove. And so long story short, I went through a little pruning process, and eventually found, not in that company, another company that was nutrition. I found a mentor, and I had already gone through a couple of bad seasons. And when I met this guy, he was making a lot of money. I think he was making over 100,000 a month. And I said, please tell me what you do. How did you do this? And long story short, that's when I started learning about systems, about, being duplicatable, about, asking people a question, exposing them to a tool, whether it's a video or a presentation, getting them on a three-way call, getting them to events and stuff like that. And long story short, I started earning a multiple six, 7 figure income as a result. And it's been about 25 years, and I'm trying to condense the story because I want to stay there too long. But about 11 months ago, I was out. I was not doing network marketing. I'd been consulting some large companies, the size of Partner Co. or bigger, because of the success I've had in the past, creating big Latino movements in the U.S. and Latin America. A lot of companies try to bring me in to help them do that because everybody wants to get into the Latin market. And unfortunately, a lot of companies get stuck in the just translating the website, the videos, and the PDFs, and that's not enough. There's more to that. So a lot of the corporate guys, or maybe even field leaders, have seen me work with me in the past or seen me in the past, have brought me in as a consultant. And so I've been doing that the last couple of years, pretty much. A couple of them tried to get me to do stuff, and I would probably put some stuff out there, but I never really built. It had been a couple of years, and about 11 months ago, I just finished something with consulting. I was doing a digital marketing business, literally no network marketing, and I start seeing these before and afters. And my passion is nutrition and fitness. I'm 51 years old. I can do, like, a lot of super freestyle burpees and crazy things that people think I'm gonna die, especially my fiance. And I share that with you because I started seeing some before and after. I've been doing marketing for so long that I saw some girls that had worked with me in the past from one of the states that I had some big teams, and they just started posting it. At first, I looked at it, I was like, wow, they got a good product because I saw a great testimonial. But as I kept on opening Facebook and they kept on coming because the algorithm, I guess, was hitting me, I kept on saying, wow, man, this stuff is like people are shrinking with this stuff. What is it? And it was killing me because not only was it was the testimony powerful, but they wouldn't say what it was. They didn't say the company. They didn't say the name of the product. So, and then I was like, I'm not gonna ask them because then he's like, they're gonna pitch me. So I just figured eventually they'd post something about it. And it was about a week of this. My mind thinking, wow, this stuff is amazing. They must be killing it. Number one, because they have nonstop stories. Number two, they don't stop posting. But they still wouldn't post it, no drops, no name of the company. And then I see Brent post something very similar, obviously one of the boards posts. And I just reached out to him and I go, bro, is this, I mean, I hadn't, me and Brent worked together and parted ways, but we stayed as friends. And so I just reached out to him, innocent, friend to friend. Every now and then we'd send stuff like Happy Father's Day, but we'd not talk about business for years. And so I just told him, Brent, is this you? Like, is this, I've been seeing this everywhere. He's like, yeah, man. I go, are you serious? Is it working? He's like, Freddie. He goes, I was about to call you. And he's like, but I've just been so busy. And so long story short, he shared with me what was going on, how the company came about. how the system came about, and how average people were having above average success with this process of boards and the system of growth. And long story short, about a week into it, we were back and forth. I ended up going to Utah to meet John Wadsworth. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about vibes. You don't even have to open your mouth. Like I feel vibes. And when I met John, before he even talked, I mean, I said I like this guy. It's just he has this aura, this energy. I don't know if it's that surfer look or what he has, but he's just so relaxed, and he puts your guard down. And when I met him and heard his story, I didn't know about him. I knew of the, his previous company and the success, but I didn't know of him. But when I put all the pieces together, I was like, wow. And when he shared the story, I was like, this is insane. So my story is real simple. I came back, Brent, I told Brent, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. My mind is 100 miles per hour. I'm used to developing systems and doing all kinds of things. And as we know, the drops are key, but we have like 5 or 6 other products that we could lead with too if we wanted to. And I loved Renew, and I thought, we could do a crazy campaign with that. And oh my God, Moa can be this, and Noni can be that, and and we can do shakes. I mean, I made millions of dollars with the shakes, and this shake's amazing. And so my mind was like in 5 different directions. And Brent said, "Listen, while you're figuring it out, let's do this. Start posting 2 posts a day. Start with your story, and copy and paste this, and put a little bit of your flavor in it. And then tomorrow post this post at 9, and the next one at 3." And in 3 days, not only did I get help a lot, I sold 22 boxes. And I've been in network marketing for over 25 years. I'm a recruiter. I'm the type of guy that can, if I focus, I can get 25, 30 people enrolled in a month. I never enrolled 22 customers in 25 years of network marketing, because, the philosophy in network marketing was customers are bad. So, if somebody signed up as a customer, it was by default because I didn't get to them first. They went to my website. And so I share that with you because I was like, wow, like $3,000 came into my Zelle, my PayPal, my Cash App, whatever. By the week, I had sold over 30, and I just stopped, and I was talking to my fiance, and I go, this is nuts. I go, could you imagine if I could teach this to 100 people? 100 people moving 30 boxes, that's 1,500 points. I just started doing all the math, and I go, I built teams of almost 100,000 people. I mean, oh my God, if I can, if I can get this going. And so that's how this whole madness started, Andrea. I mean, we went to the convention in Orlando, which was really where where I started getting aggressive on recruiting and all that stuff. And it's been exciting. The business has taken us into Mexico, into Colombia, into Peru, into obviously Puerto Rico being a big market, all over the US, Europe. We even have people in Asia. Apparently Puerto Ricans and Colombians know Japanese people or have family there. So our team's gone everywhere. And so it's been exciting. And I'll tell you real quick, because I know we have some very special guests tonight that I want to pass this on to. I've been in this industry for a while, and I've done well, and I'm a systems guy, but I've never had a tool like the system of growth. I mean, for me, it's like it's huge. I mean, if you go back to and the proof is in the pudding. If you go to my Facebook, I actually have 2 profiles. If you go to my Facebook profiles, I don't skip a day. I don't skip the 2 posts. I don't care if one week is hot. I don't care if one week's not. I don't care. It's all about consistency. And I learned that many years ago. This business is all about being consistent and persistent until you reach. And I think you go through phases, and I think people come and go. But if you're consistent, it all comes at you at the same, eventually all comes at you at the same time, and people go, you're lucky. And you're like, no, I just didn't stop. Right. And so we have something special here. From the founders, from the products. I mean, I started off with these drops, and now I have like 19 products that I take a day almost, pretty much, between the shakes, the greens, the probiotics, the Vinali, and whatever. So the products are amazing. And, I'm just excited because nobody knows about this. I think sometimes, we feel like, because we talked to like 10 people we know, like the whole world and knows about it already, or based on their opinion or whatever. And we're just getting started. I mean, Canada just opened up pretty much, as far as everything, company focus and whatnot. And even though I've gone down to South America, there's nothing there. But what's really excites me, and I was having a conversation with Brent about it yesterday. you know Historically, when a company's in momentum here in North America, Florida's on fire, Texas is on fire, California's on fire, not to mention some other key states. And that's not happened here yet. So even though we have a lot of growth and a lot of people doing amazing, and our sales are incredible, we haven't even started yet. So that excites me, and we have a global opportunity, because you start here and, you end up in 50 some countries, because you don't know who knows who, right? And so, I don't know if you want me to go any further, but that's my story. I right now I'm totally focused, breaking to break not only focus on breaking ranks to Dallas. I learned a long time ago, and the keto, one of the main ingredients of massive growth that I've had in the past has been events, built from event to event. For example, tomorrow I'm going to be in Ohio. I've got people there. I've got prospects going, and more importantly, I've got people that we're going to recognize from the team on stage. And I learned a long time ago, and I'll leave it with this before we bring on Al. But I learned a long time ago, events. There's four things that you gotta, and if you guys want to write something down, that you'll always, if you're going to be in this industry, and especially in partner co, you'll always utilize is: number one, never miss an event; number two, don't go alone; number three, do everything possible in every event to be on stage, be recognized for moving up for something, right? So your team sees, hey, that's my leader. And number four, do everything possible to get your team on that stage. And if you do that and repeat it I mean, you'll be one of the top earners in no time, right? And so tonight I want to bring in, I don't know if you want me to introduce him, Adrian?
I do, but before you
Okay.
do, I want to hold on because you brought, like, you were
Fired
like,
up.
you always are. So you talked about vibe, and I tell you, that's what's so much fun to be around you because you do bring that beautiful energy. And it is so important that you go around people. We want to be around people. What's the saying, that feel like sunshine? And you definitely do. Our owners do. Like, it feels good when we get together. So I love that. But you dropped so many hints in there. So I just want to pull them out real quick. So the first thing that you said is that you had to be pruned. You had to go through a pruning process. And that's so true here because every single one of us come here and we have baggage, right? Maybe it's ego, maybe it's the opposite where we think we're afraid we're not quite good enough or we don't know enough or blah blah blah. Like whatever that story is that's in here, we need to prune. So learn from Freddie, go through that pruning process, let those things go so that you can go win here. And then I loved what you said, that you were like mind blown because we all get this, right? Like all of us, we get on the drops and then we start with Advantage, and then we get on Sugar Stop, and then we start find Giving Greens, and then Renew, and we get excited about everything, and we're like, oh my gosh, I've got to share this with everyone. How am I going to do that? And I love that what Brent said was, he said, um, while you're figuring that out, start with this, right? Okay. So I love that. He didn't like squash your dreams, right? He didn't tell you no, because we're all independent agents here, so we can all do whatever we want. But I love that he lovingly course corrected you and brought you back. And, I think one thing that I always tell people, or that we hear, and you just said it, you started with the drops and now you're on 19 products. So I tell people, trust the process. I know you want everybody on everything. Start them here, help them fall in love, and they're going to find all of the rest of it, just like we did. Like, you found out about MOA because you wanted to. It wasn't because somebody told you about it. You heard it in an event or you were scrolling in the back office, whatever it may be, right? So we will find it. So I love that. And then the last thing, well, okay, I took a bunch of notes just so you know, if you could hear my click, click, click over here. But I love that when you said that we haven't even gotten started yet. Because sometimes we get in our own way in this feeling of scarcity. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Freddy's here. Like, if he's here, he's going to get everybody. Of course, like, Susan knows everybody, and Maggie's so much better than me. And they're going to suck up all the people, and I'm going to be left here alone, right? It's just, I'm this little tiny business. It's not going to work. No, that's impossible. We are just getting started. This is a big world filled with a lot of people. Even if you live in a town of 1,000 people, well, I guarantee they're not all in yet. So go start talking, go post, and then just like Freddie said, it's all about consistency. So I loved it. Great, great content there, Freddie. I literally typed away. Yes.
Let me say two things because now that you summarize everything, I slowed down my ADD. The system, the system that like you said, that I said I was, I guess the way to interpret it, I was coachable, because when Brent told me, okay, that's cool, but this is what I want you to do, I could have said, no, 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 I'm going to do it my way, right? And I'll tell you, because I think the topic you wanted to talk about people that have been in the industry and stuff like that. I'll tell you, my biggest challenge is bringing people from the industry because they don't understand this whole customer concept because we've been taught for so long that it's bad, right? Like there's no money there. And I don't believe that. I think it's total opposite. I want people to fall in love with a product because other people are going to continue to buy and whatnot. And at the end of the day, a healthy business is a customer rich business. And everybody knows that, but very few are they're scared, right? Because they're not used to that. So this system of growth, I'll tell you, one of the biggest challenges you'll have is if somebody's had success or said they've been in the industry or whatever, it's gonna contradict them because I've had to deal with it personally with a lot of different leaders that have been with me that have been trying to recruit. And I'll tell you, the ones that actually do it win, and work. So it works if you work it. And working is not just posting, it's also following through once somebody gets started to get them upgraded and get them to duplicate the system. So it's a process. And I want to thank you, Andrea, because when I got started, I mean, you were the one hustling with everybody that was coming into our team and trying to put the pieces together. And as a result of your help, we were able to do it, whether it was the generic stuff or you took the time with a lot of people to get things going. So I think, that it's vital. It's not, the system is more than one component. It's not just the posting, which, obviously is very attractive, but it's everything else. It's such a powerful system if you work it. And if you teach people, and this whole thing of duplication is do it with them, for them, let them do it with you while you watch them and then let them go, right? But you got to do it with them in the beginning. And I think, one thing I've changed recently because we've all had people, I'm not perfect, I enroll a lot of people and sometimes I drop the ball or whether people don't answer, they get lost or just don't do it. But I think, the best thing you can do is when people are excited, right away, download that boards, right away, get them to post and stay with them the first couple of days and walk, act like if it's your account for the first couple of days to help them, get it because, this whole thing of social media and posting might be comfortable for you, but most people it's like foreign to them. It's Chinese. They're like, what is this? And if they have one glitch, they're not touching it. And a lot of times, sometimes they can't transfer the key. There's little nuances that, I've noticed that if you do it with them, they'll remember that and that'll duplicate and obviously you'll have growth. So, um,
Well, I love that. And I love because you said something key there. I grew up the same way you did in the industry, in that a customer was almost a failure, right? We'd get a call from the owner and say, well, why'd you enroll them as a customer? Why aren't they a brand partner? And so you would be afraid to put a customer in. So
yes,
before this system, if I had 5 customers in the 13 years before I started this system, I would be shocked. Like literally, I would probably tell you no. If you're like, well, I just want to try the product, I'd be like, it's, then it was $500 and you can try it because really I was going to enroll you. And I even heard today on a training where the person was like, well, I'm a recruiter. I'm not really a customer gatherer. And I'm like, oh yeah, I want you to understand that that is what we're doing. So
exactly.
in this industry, if you've been here for a minute, you have bought leads, you've paid for advertising, you've done all these things to creatively try to make these hot leads. That's all we're doing. We are attracting people to us, creating hot leads. We're bringing people in that want us, and then we are loving on them so that they become these raving fans that have results with our product. And then we're saying, hey, come be a part of our community, and we're creating the future money. So it's not necessarily about those customers in terms of making the $80 on the box or just starting things. It's about that funnel system where we're bringing you in, and then guess what? We're going to love on you so hard that you want to be a part of our community. And then that's the future of our business, right? So you saw a post and now you're here growing an empire. Well, it was a lot more than a box of drops. So I love that so
The
much.
system works,
The
period.
system works if you work it. Oh, I'm going to go. Hold on. Let me get back here. I'm going to share my screen.
Just today, we had somebody buy a 30 pack this morning. He put his first post, 4 people bought a box. I mean, it works,
Love it.
if it works if you work it. It
It
works if you
works if you work it. So now we have 2 beautiful guests. So I'm going to hand it to you, Freddie, to introduce our next guest.
Absolutely. Well, I have obviously, as you know, we have a lot of amazing people on our team. This couple is down here in Miami. They joined us a couple months ago, and it's interesting because I've known him and her obviously for a long time, but we've never worked together. And through a mutual friend, he joined our organization, and he has a lot more years of industry experience than me. But they're an amazing couple. One of the things that you were mentioning culture. One of my models is if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Because I firmly believe you got to create an environment that people want to be a part of. People don't want to go to work because it's all negative and drama and toxicity. We want to create that positivity here. And these people, these amazing leaders, they embody that, right? They just love to have a good time. They're connectors. They're lovers, huggers. Great people and and amazing leaders. But I don't want to steal their thunder from Miami, Florida. Adelkis and Al Diaz. How you guys doing?
Hello, hello everyone. Freddie, thank you so much. It is a pleasure, Andrea. Thank you so much for inviting us, and Freddie, thank you for inviting us also. I mean, it is a pleasure, especially getting to first time in I'm not gonna say how many years I've known you because then people know how old we are, but to work with you as a team member.
That's awesome. Well, guys, show us a little bit about your story and ultimately what attracted you to the company, to PartnerCo. You guys have some industry experience. There's a lot of companies out there, and what was it that attracted you about PartnerCo?
Well, what attracted me to PartnerCo was I was spending $600 on hormone patches. And, and a mutual friend introduced told us about these drops that were doing hormones, for women control hormones. And he said, how much are they? He says, about $150. So my numbers went, okay, I'm going to save $450 every single month, right? So I said, okay, perfect. I'll get a set. And then he says to me, but there is a side effect. And I said, oh, what's the side effect? It says weight loss. And it says, really? Okay, get me two. I need the weight loss. So that's how we basically broke in. And then we end up going to Mexico. You know, you shared it quite a bit, Freddie, when you talk about uh, culture, right? Me and Adelkis, we're an outgoing people. We love having people together. We're a culture people. We love helping people. And then when we went to Mexico, uh, John came up to us. We were sitting, and John came up to us, touched us on the shoulder with his wife, and he said to me, "Are you Al Diaz?" And I looked and said, "Yeah." I thought, "Oh boy, we're in trouble." And he comes, "Hey, I'm John. This is my wife." And I go, "Oh, hi." And what the conversation was that we never talked business. We were talking about the culture, talking about the Lord, talking to why his wife was part of this industry, and it bonded to me. And she took Adelkis to the side and talked to Adelkis, and uh, and it was great. After we finished, we just looked at each other and said, "I think we found a home." I really did. We were going through. We've been in the industry. I've been in the industry for over 40 years. I've had my ups and downs. Yeah, I'm old school, very old school. And how I ran into this industry back 42 years ago was playing left field, and my center fielder was Gary Columbus. And he asked me, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow night?" And I says, "Nothing. Say, come over to the house. I'm gonna have a party." I said, "Great." So I went to his house, never forget, walked in, and you're talking to Gary Columbus, he's from Alabama, right? Excuse me, he's a hillbilly, right? And I see this hillbilly dressed in a blue
Hey
suit
now.
and a red tie. And I go, what am I doing here, right? And he's on a board with chalkboard and drawing chalkboards and all this. And I got excited. This little Cuban guy here, Miami, got excited. And 40 years I've been doing this industry. But, Freddie, what the most important thing I think of this partner go and why we decided to come on is for one reason only. It was a system. We all in all, in every single person who's here and looking at it, who has experience in this industry, we always say we need to have a system that is duplicatable. Because I sponsor people and I try to duplicate with the systems, right? And it's very hard to people to duplicate what I learned. But we have a system that is so simple that, yeah, I mean, I was blown away. And if I have never before in 40 years had people call me to buy products from me, call me to join my business. Folks, it's the other way around. I used to be the old folks. I used to grab the phone and, hey, Tony, I need to show you something tonight. Can I accept it? And they hang up the phone. This is different. This is different, folks. The system that we have is completely mind-boggling for me. I mean, it's just, how can I say it? People just get excited, right? Just for looking our posts. But then I have her,
Experts on the
the
videos.
video lady, right? That decides to start doing some massive videos. And then
We should have shown her videos.
yeah, we should. Well, we have a bunch of videos. We just go to the wall, you can see. And then we just started sharing it, and it was just incredible. We just started getting a lot of people to ask. And I shared this story on one of our Zooms that I had a lady, I'm going to name her name Maria, reached out to me, and she said to me on Messenger, "Hey Al, this is Maria. I want to know more about the drops to buy the drops." And I go, "Maria, I don't know. I don't remember her, right?" When I looked at it, she graduated high school with me in 19, I'm not gonna say the year because then people know how old I am. But it's been a long time ago, right? And I'm gonna say 50 years ago. And I haven't spoken to her since high school. It shows you, folks, that you need to continue to post. You might think that people are not looking, people are not liking, or not putting comments. Continue to post twice, three, whatever time, but don't stop. If I would have stopped, I would have not have sold a box to her. And now she's really excited because she's having a lot of results. So the system is very important, very important. Um, I really love this business and love Partnico is because of the culture that we have. And most important is the leadership. Freddie, you're one of them. I mean, it's a pleasure working with you for the first time. What can I say about Andrea? Andrea, in the beginning was doing Zooms for my team in Canada, and you're just amazing. And then we have our, Brent. Brent is just loves eating Cuban pastelitos. That's what he did when he came here to Miami, right? I mean, he comes to Miami to do a meeting, and we're seeing him in the kitchen eating some Cuban pastelitos, right? So yeah, it's just great to see tremendous leadership, right? From the top down, is very important. Very important. You want to say something?
No,
No?
you said it all.
Okay, I said it all.
Well, I gotta say, Adelkis, I just went and tried to stalk your Facebook, and you've got a lot of reels on there.
Already.
Um, but my Facebook isn't working on my computer very well. I was gonna try to show one, but it keeps crashing, so I can't. But guys, go follow her because I tell you, when you find somebody that does some fun things on there, one, it makes it more fun for us, but then we can get some great ideas. So go follow Al, go find Adelkis on Facebook because there's great content in there. And well, Freddie, I'll shush you. You go. I'm sure you're gonna have a recap. I don't. Sorry.
No, no, I think you had mentioned to me we were talking today. We've been running some different people, Andrea, and we were talking about the system, just how we've never had a tool like this and how powerful it is if people actually obviously recognize it and work it. What the possibilities are endless. Not only is it a big cash cow for someone, to make an extra $2,000 to $5,000 in their first month, or God knows what, moving these, posting, right? But more importantly, they can duplicate that amongst the people that they share this with, and create a massive team, which a lot of people have already done. So when you had Brent over, I think, something I want to highlight. What did that mean to you? I mean, I don't know about you, but I know early on, I mean, it was hard for me to have, one of the top earners in a company, not to mention, number one or two, in North America, in my house, how how did that feel? Especially having your prospects there and all that.
I mean, anytime that you have a leader like Brent to come to your house, I mean, it felt like we're special, and we're not. We're just ordinary people like everybody else. And I believe that Brent is such a big heart that he goes to everyone and treats everyone as leaders. To have him come to our house, the only thing I say is that he came to our house for one reason only, is to eat Cuban pastelitos. Brent, I know you're watching. I love you, but no, but
Real quick, what products outside of the drops are you guys excited about?
oh wow, I the sugar block for sure, no question.
There's some.
For sure, we have MOA, and we have magnesium D,
The energy drinks.
the energy drinks. Magnesium D is to me the big product for me because I have issues with my knee, was constantly pain. I mean, massive pain. Started drinking it. I drank 4 a day. I do have some issues with my knee, but I don't have the pain. I have to
Mm.
feel it, right? But the pain is gone. I still have to do a lot of stuff with my knee, but when I took the product 2 days later, it was like, oh my gosh. So I shared it with one of my downline. And one of my downline, I'm going to name his name because he's a part of our team, is Michael Allison. Michael Allison has been having taken Advil every night for I don't know how many years. I forgot how many years. So when he wakes up in the morning, he don't have any pain. So I told him, hey, Michael, try this product. We don't have nothing to lose. Within 2 days, he had results. It's been already a month, and he has not taken any more Advils. So people, some of our products, we need to try them, right? We don't know what's going to do to our body. Sometimes when you're healthy, you don't realize, the magnitude it does to you. Um, it's just when you have issues and you do take a product that makes a difference, you want to share that with everybody. You
I showed
know,
up to their house and they had some Blue Frog in their refrigerator.
yeah, yeah. You're absolutely right. I have them in the refrigerator, right? That's what we have. But yeah, I mean, that's our product. I love our products. I mean, our products are just really good, and we haven't tried all of them. I mean, well, I have. I tried the toothpaste and the shampoo. I did try that. I mean, I wanted to try and it's great. I mean, it's an awesome product. Awesome product.
Andrea, any questions? Either you want anything?
No, I love it. I just know that you have two ladies on here with us tonight.
Yep.
So Al, Adelkis, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight both ladies. And if you wouldn't mind introducing our beautiful guests and then ask them their questions so that we can learn from them as well.
Okay. Okay. First of all, I want to introduce um what was her name again? You're supposed to help me with this.
You're supposed to say the
Hold
first.
on, I'm
Oh,
coming, I'm
that's right.
coming.
Say the last
This is
name.
called teamwork, folks. This is called teamwork, okay? I'm going to introduce Laurie
Paragon Reef,
and Maggie.
Madore.
There we go. Right now, they are two special people. They're out of Connecticut. I know them uh, maybe about 4 years. We get to meet each other. I'll let them tell the story. But they are senior supervisors, and hopefully by tomorrow, they'll probably be senior managers. So we're working on it. We're working on it. They're that close, that close. And I'm really happy to introduce you guys. Maggie, well, when they first came to me, they asked, hey, Al, what do we do? What do we should do? Because I know they're two great people. So I told them, listen to me, if you both come in together, two different people, you're going to compete because you know the same people. I think you should come in as a team, one solid team. And they did. They came and there are two tremendous people, two different personalities, two tremendous leaders. I mean, it's just a pleasure to have you. And girls, I mean, ladies, not girls, I'm sorry. Ladies.
No, we
Uh,
laugh when you call us.
yeah. I'd like you guys to share your story about why Particle? What draw you to the company? What did you see that made you come to the company?
Want to go first, Laura?
You can start. Well, because you were with the other one.
Amanda, come on, put
See, I
your-
told you that's a good team, right?
Um, okay. It started with Laurie noticed that Al, we used to work together, and she said, "Where'd Al go?" And see, Laurie is an investigator, and she's really good. She has no idea how good she is. And she got a hold of Al. She goes, "Al, what are you doing?" So she said he's doing this partner co, and we talked with him, and he started telling us about this product, these drops, hormonal balancing drops. And I said, huh, hormonal balancing, that's a key word. And he talked about this system of growth. And I have to tell you, I was with a previous company since 2018, and I did everything. And see, I've been a teacher for a long time. I love it. And this will be my 28th year, I think. And I think that was a problem with where I was before. And Freddie, you said you had pruning. I had a lot of pruning to do because I thought, I'll teach everybody. And it was very humbling, but it was different because what brought us to why Partner Co. The first thing was Al. We met Al in an elevator. Okay, that's how quickly we bonded from one floor to the next, and we got off the floor with him. I don't even know where we were, you know. And Adelkis and Al, they just, there's something about them that is just so beautiful, so welcoming. We didn't feel like we were in a foreign land anymore. They made everything simple, and he just made it real and very like you could trust them. And with Partner Co, Laurie, am I talking too much?
Never.
Okay. So so when we came on your first call, 10:15 call. I didn't have the, well, it was a 10:15. We got off and we said, Laurie, we're home. I when you're praying and there's tears in your eyes and they're real and I feel like I have to apologize to somebody who asked me for help, and because you're guarded when you come from somewhere else, and you guys are real and you're authentic, and it's all about, when you end with God in a prayer, everybody's defenses go down and you're seeing this beautiful community. I can't say enough. I'm going to stop, Laura, because you told me not to talk too much. But I absolutely, it's a beautiful thing. Michael Allison, the training, the leadership, it's second to none. And there are no questions that are too difficult, even if they repeat over and over. Al is always laughing. Adelkis, she's laughing. Michael Alice is laughing. We're all laughing together. And I'm at a time in my life where I want to laugh. Laurie and I have a lot in common. We've had a lot of tragedy, taken a lot of care of a lot of people. Sorry. And
This is a safe place. Tears are welcome here.
and that's what it is. You guys are real. So thank you. Laurie, come on.
Okay, enough of that, Maggie.
Okay.
So yeah, as Maggie said, she was with a previous company. I joined that company with her since 2022 because I saw her post on Facebook. We went to high school together. So I'm like, oh, what is she doing? So we reconnected, which was awesome. And that's where we met Al. And like she said, connected in the elevator. He cared about us. Him and Adelka spent time, talked with us. And this was with the other company. And so when he disappeared, I'm like, I got to find out, because we were on his Monday. We used to talk to him. And so we did, found him and reconnected and found out what was going on. So as Maggie said, it was when we heard about the hormones, thyroid is an issue of mine. I am on half my medication, which I've been on for years, 100 milligrams. I'm down to 50. But the whole, like Maggie said, for us to help people get better, like, that's the best thing, is to see people improve their health. I could go on forever, but I do have to say that the leadership from Al, the patients, we're so grateful for. We have fun with Adelkis. Al, Michael Allison too, has trained us and spent so much time with us. And Freddie, you too. We met you in Florida once already, so can't wait to again. Or actually, we'll see you tomorrow in Ohio. But I do have to say that Brent, last week on this meeting, I believe it was, he spoke to all of us and he said, you don't work for me, I work for you. And that just showed, out of any thing that I knew in the past, I could call him tomorrow. I could message him and he will be there for you and answer a question and do his best. He is so, so busy. And for him way up here to care, that much about us down here, that we're getting it together. It's going, we're learning, but we're, and he's amazing. He's amazing. Everyone is, but it's, we're just grateful and thankful for everybody. And to hear you every day, Andrea, is awesome too. We love the 10 o'clock and the 10:15 is wonderful.
Girls,
So
I want to ask you, I know that
very
you
grateful.
are all excited, but experience on the products. I know that you girls were on the drops and it really, you have done a bunch of trade shows and because of the product. But have you tried any other product? What other products, what experience have you had? And if you can share that with us.
I had it. Well, I have to tell you about the drops. My head is clear. My brain fog is gone. I feel like my memory's back. Actually, I see one of my friends is he's a naturopath, incredible person, and he just said Maggie's back, and I said, yeah. My hot
And
flash.
it's the first time you're
Well,
just
wait. So the hot flashes have lessened. The sleep is getting better. The energy's getting better. COVID knocked out my sense of smell and taste, and it started to come back, but not really. But it's coming back. And when we were sitting at the trade show, all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, there's, and I'm cooking and I'm looking at my husband going, hey, this is good. But the biggest thing for me, and this is what a lot of people were listening to with me at the vendors, places, the booths, is because of tragedies and acute grief, there's a lot of anxiety and depression. Unbelievable. I am like this. I can talk about it. It was amazing. And I am so grateful. There is, and people key into that because there's so many people. Laurie, Laurie's crying. We're crying at these booths where people are talking to us and they're hurting so much. And when they hear that there's help, they're like, what is it? Okay. And my goodness, we walked away from one show and there were 50 people that we had to get back to. And we're trying to do it in a day and it's really hard, But I have to say that with me, I was pre-diabetic. I had quite the history and a lot of stress. Stress does wonderful things. But the sugar stop is catching people's attention. Just being able to, my favorite food is potatoes. And to be able to eat potatoes or pasta, and to know that, because I'll wake up, I can try to cheat, but if I eat that, I'll wake up with rashes. I don't have the rashes. So that's incredible. I've tried the Renew, the toothpaste, the magnesium, Magnical D is, I was waking up with a severe cramping in my feet, my sides of my calves. It was crazy. And I don't have it. So I can't wait to try all these other products. And I'm very, very grateful.
Well, I have another question because I know that where we come from, right? And what do you think about the system of growth, right? Our system. What I know in the beginning we had some little challenges, right? So tell me give me your input. Why system of growth?
I think it's at first I think everybody feels funny. Like I don't want to post on Facebook, all that stuff. I don't post a lot. And we've learned that the way the algorithms work, not everybody sees it. Not everybody's not seeing it. Um, it's amazing that first time I did it, and then ding, my phone went off, and somebody's like, "Oh, what's that?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, it works!" And it has just continued. People call you. And yesterday I had 3 people in the morning, and then somebody else I dropped a box off. So 3 people wanted information. 2 are going to be away. I'm dropping off a box when we get back to Ohio, and then I brought another box to another girl. So 4 people yesterday before noon. And they never seen anything like that before. Like you said, calling people trying to try this, and this is just so different. They see the results. They see, uh, they're real people. It's not AI stuff. These are real people, real testimonies, real results, and they're just like, wow. And I do have to say, one woman at the very beginning, who's a realtor in town. Maggie and I have known her from high school. At first, she's like, "I think you're hacked. I got spam from you." And I said, "Oh no, this is something I posted." "Oh, well, what is it?" And she da, 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 da. She didn't, well, she's been watching because she was one of the ones yesterday that wanted more information.
Andrew, real quick, guys, real quick. What if I would have not? What if Brent would have not posted? Because he had already been in for a year and had already gone through the cycle several times and repeated and repeated. People tell me, "Oh, I already went through that once. I already went through it twice." Brent had gone through it like 10 times. What if I stopped posting, right? Al would have not. So I mean, look at the power of this system. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And like, I think Andrea, you said, do you remember what you wore to church last week? Nobody
Right.
remembers. Who's going to remember what you posted last, 2 weeks ago, or even we go by 6 weeks. So no, people don't remember.
Yeah, and people, and one thing that I want to touch base on what you're just saying, and Freddie was saying, that you might be posting, but not everybody goes on Facebook every day, and so they won't see that post that day, or what, we went through the system and we said, "Oh, no, I gotta post the same one." Yeah, post the same one, because people didn't see that. Not everyone sees that. So, well, good, girls. Girls, we're super happy you girls to be in Ohio with us in Columbus. Can't wait to hug you girls again. It's been a long time, and I'm so happy for your success, and I can't wait to see you girls walk across stage. I just can't wait. That's it.
Well, thank you all. So, ladies, you made my eyes water. So, it's a good call when you get a little bit of eyes water, because that means that we're doing it right. Like our goal is to touch hearts, and that's what we did tonight. So, I was blessed by this. Al, Adelkis, thank you so much for jumping on here with us and sharing your heart with us. And I think it's so fun. Like, I love Al because I know Al, but what makes it even more exciting is when you hear other people being like, this is a person like Al, Adelkis, they bring joy into our life. They bring laughter into our life. Don't we all want to be talked about that way? Right? Freddy, he shows up, he's helping us, right? Like everybody on here has been such a great role model for us that we can all learn. It's like, well, how do I want to treat my team? Well, like Coach did, right? Where he said to you, you don't work for me, I work for you, and you feel comfortable to reach out to him. Like, isn't that what we want? So we got some great lessons tonight. Thank you all for sharing. Freddie, thank you so much for always the great vibes. I appreciate all
Fire
of you.
up!
Fired up
Fire
always.
it
So
up!
guys,
Fire it up!
thank you so much for being here tonight. Everybody have a beautiful Wednesday. We'll see you back tomorrow morning on the Coach's Corner, and then we'll see you back here next week. So thank you all. Love you so much.
Bye.